I am completely insane, people. Take a look at this. That is how we know that we have won. Guys, we are literally ahead of the curve when it comes to spreading this kind of news that is going to become a reality. Jim Cramer, who is a contributor to Watch Your Guru, believes that Kamala Harris will emerge victorious in the presidential race. He continues by saying, "I don't see how Trump can win," which is an end quotation. You guys are aware of who this individual is, so allow me to play a short video clip that reveals who this individual really is. Our very own Jim Cramer stated yesterday that he is not certain that Tesla has a business plan that is going to be successful. He also stated that it is not a wise investment. Well, what would you say to those who are skeptical and look at where Tesla is and the money that you are raising and say that you are aware of the situation? What they have is a gorgeous roadster, but they do not have a solid plan for how they will run their firm. Jim, I believe you are aware of this. In response to Jim's question, I would respond, "Yeah, sure, we're not the best earners, but I think we're going to do okay." You are aware, Jim, that I believe advise best earnings in layperson, in addition to other things. In all honesty, this is a contraindicator. He made a statement that, to put it bluntly, is a contraindicator, which means that whatever he says, the contrary invariably happens or comes to pass the majority of the time. Let's just say that correct. It is not a hit rate of 100%. On the other hand, I would guess that it's about 90% males. He then goes on to say this, which is correct who wins. Not her, but more precisely, guys, according to Elon Musk from a long time ago, which was more than a decade ago, Donald Trump has officially won the election. I am really excited about this. My chest is tightening up. Without shattering not just that, but also the money is forecasting the same thing. I am unable to contain it. I am unable to contain it. Therefore, the election projection for the year 2024 is basically in 25 days, folks, or approximately what are you waiting for? There is a rapid passage of time. Just the thought of that is really ridiculous. How is it? No, I'm not sure about it. However, Trump is currently in the lead by 12.9% before the presidential election in the United States. Men and cryptocurrency is going to explode. Do you agree? No matter what happens, it appears that in the coming months, guys, there is going to be a lot of volatility, but in the following months, we ought to go higher and higher and higher and higher. Is that correct? As a result of the fact that if he comes, it is going to blow apart. For the time being, I will be discussing cryptocurrencies in general because the hour is late for you. This is Gary Gensler, who will be leaving the office as soon as Donald Trump is in charge. Yours truly. Mr. Gary, the moment has come for you. What is the best way for me to concentrate on winning? Well, let's face it, you have some familiarity with me. Because I am a very competitive person. My goal is to come out on top. We are going to prevail, aren't we, guys? On the other hand, it appears like we have already won. Do you agree? With the help of Jim Cramer, we have already achieved victory, regardless of what he has declared right now from Altcoin Daily. Trump has stated that he will compose a, quote, nationwide the appropriate national supply of Bitcoin. People who are interested in Bitcoin or stockpiling, that is to say, are they going to consume as much Bitcoin as they possibly can when he is in office and when he returns? With any luck, they have already done so. Not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum and XRP have their eggs in the same baskets, right? 1 million Bitcoins, there are 10 million Ethereum and maybe 10 billion or at least 1 billion or at least 1 billion XRP in the baskets right now. That's not the case, Justin. Yesterday, we were just talking about what was a $70 billion stimulus plan, and China was supposed to unveil a fresh stimulus package worth $283 billion. However, they just decided to multiply that number by a significant amount. Investors in China anticipate a new stimulus package of over $300 billion this coming weekend. Exactly. This is completely absurd. Is it even possible to know what's going on over there, guys? All over again, they cannot allow the economy to fall apart. We told you guys that whenever there was a recession at this point, they would just print and then force you to make everything go back up. You will not be able to stop the trend. Fight against the current trend. But to put it simply, they are going to keep printing until the very last second. And that is the moment when everything will fall apart, right? In other words, it's only up for grabs, men. To put it simply, it is only up. Guys, in the short run, there will be something similar to this. It will be similar to that, with volatility in the short term. The orange line, those who are on the white line, are Bitcoin and the worldwide M2 money supply. However, altcoins perform the exact same function. As you can see, the global money supply is already working to generate new alternative cryptocurrencies on a daily basis. All the way up there, gentlemen. All the way up at $107 trillion. $107 trillion in total. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is currently trading at $60,000. With that in mind, the price of Bitcoin would be $90,000 if it were to catch up with the worldwide M2 guys. That's crazy, isn't it? The search for liquidity by the Federal Reserve is just getting started, gentlemen. Further catalysts are about to arrive. I have a feeling that everything is going to explode at the same time. Over the past few days, the liquidity of the Federal Reserve has increased by around $100 billion to begin the fourth quarter. This comes after a drop of $340 billion at the conclusion of the third quarter. Given that I believe it is quite probable that this recent spike will usually continue over the coming weeks and months, it follows that both equities and cryptocurrencies will continue to rise. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that I believe the SP also reached new highs. Is that correct? Because of the stock market. Extremely optimistic. Take note of this. There was a significant increase in the value of assets during both time periods, but gold and Bitcoin in particular. Do you agree? Now, when we see liquidity, this is for the people who work for the Fed. Once it reaches a higher level, Bitcoin will also rise. Do you agree? Although I am not familiar with gold, I believe that the price of gold is set to reach its peak. In my opinion, it is possible that it may produce still another lower high, followed by a little higher high, but it will eventually reach its peak due to the numerous bearish divergences. It was something that we discussed, and when it reaches its peak, it is a very bullish sign for Bitcoin, right? So things are starting to stack up here, and then we received additional catalyst guys bullish from Cointelegraph after that. According to a survey conducted by Bank of America, 62% of millennials are interested in cryptocurrency because they believe that wealth transfer is inevitable. Guys, don't we see that we are moving away from the old world and into the new world? The old guard is leaving, and the new generation is getting ready to take its place. Furthermore, 62% of millennials are in favor of cryptocurrencies, right? I mean, it's going to take the globe by storm, guys. It's that easy. BlackRock hits $11.5 trillion under assets under management. I mean, it's going to take the world by storm. What happens next is that Larry thinks he goes on CNBC and supports Bitcoin. Right, so they reached a new all-time high in terms of the assets under management, which is trillions of dollars. But then there was this thing called let me go on the news and talk about Bitcoin in the event that this is a bullish chart. I am at a loss for words. Come on, let's look into this. To protect the public's interests. Alternatively, Bitcoin. BlackRock is well known for making these items accessible to the general public. There are products that you obviously cannot supply daily liquidity, but where you can gain an audience comparable to what you've done on the ETF front for public stocks. Have there been products like this before, and are there going to be goods like this in the future? Alternatively, Bitcoin. Also, how do you anticipate that to develop? I have devoted a significant amount of time to discussing the expansion of private credit because I believe that it is of utmost significance. Therefore, David, I believe that it is about developing analytics and data in that industry in order to assist investors in comprehending it, to enable us to compare and contrast the public and private sectors. By doing so, we were able to bring the market into existence, and by expanding the market, we were able to generate more liquidity, which practically makes it comparable to a public market when it is considered. As it ought to be when I think about it, I remember that in my early days before BlackRock won, we were the ones who developed the market for mortgage-backed securities. Even no one was interested in seeing or hearing from me. However, we make it a point to work hard every day to develop and construct something that was extremely illiquid into something that has become one of the most liquid marketplaces in our capital market. It seems to me that this is the progression of a capital market. Do you not think that's a bullish statement, guys? The word Bitcoin keeps popping out of his mouth, right? He continues to keep on saying that he is going to tell you about Bitcoin. Guys, this is literally the largest player puppet in the entire planet. Oh, is that what I meant? Before the collapse, I have a strong suspicion that they are going to lure in the guys. They are going to take this counsel seriously. Please give this video a thumbs up. They are going to entice each and every person on the planet Earth to purchase even a single dollar worth of Bitcoin, or even a small amount of Bitcoin. It makes no difference. Only exercise extreme caution. What's new from the Bitcoin archive? Michael Saylor lays out the steps that MicroStrategy needs to do in order to become a company worth $1 trillion. But I don't believe that will take place. I don't think it will happen anytime soon because I think it will fall apart at some point. Nevertheless, there is an immediate need for these athletes, people. They are similar to bots purchasing our, or not mine, but the people supply, right? In my opinion, that is perfectly acceptable. Therefore, if we end up with $20 billion worth of converts, $20 billion worth of preferred shares, $10 billion worth of debt, and $50 billion worth of debt instruments and structured instruments, we will have between $100 and $150 billion worth of Bitcoin. Wow. The price of Bitcoin is going to reach millions of coins, and when that happens, we will have a firm worth $1 trillion. Even if this is after the collapse, I will be extremely pleased if it is before the collapse. Guys, you should still be thankful, right? Only at a price of $1